Guru Nation live from an undisclosed location on a Friday afternoon. I'm here to talk about AQST Therapeutics. It is the only stock I currently own. I've been messing around with it since 2019. I'm at an average cost of $3.80, which is higher than what it is today. This is not financial advice. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing, but I am very bullish on this company. I've done lots of videos before. I've interviewed Biotech Scanner. Shout out to him. We're about to do another interview soon, hopefully, God willing, next week. I was supposed to talk to him, but I'm out here with family on a vacation. But I mess around with ChatGPT because that's what you do when you are obsessed with something like I am with AQST. So I asked ChatGPT a bunch of interesting things, and I think you guys might like it. Maybe not. Find out, analyze the balance sheet and insider trading activities. So this one is as of the last financial results. You guys can do this with ChatGPT too, so you can see it's not great. Total liabilities is 100 million. Total assets are 81 million on the balance sheet. Their net income was a loss of 12.3 million last quarter. The revenue was 11, and it cost them a lot more than that to operate because they're doing a couple of trials currently. They are doing, and before we get into that, here's the insider trading activities. ChatGPT gets interesting. I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. So John Doe, CEO, that's not actually the name, purchased 10,000 shares at $2 per share on March 15th. I think these are programmed like exercise options. So $2 and then 180, way lower than what the price was at that time, although not that much lower on the March 15th. I think it was maybe $3 then too. AQST is currently operating at a loss with significant operating expenses outweighing its profit. The company has a negative stockholders' equity. However, it maintains a reasonable level of cash and cash equivalents to cover short-term liabilities. That is important because they are doing trials, all right? And they are doing pivotal trials right now. They just finished one, and the FDA wanted additional data on some of the stuff, and we're going to get into that right here. So, top institutional holders, BlackRock. I don't know about you, but I think BlackRock are some smart people, borderline scary people. One of the reasons why I buy as much real estate as I can is because they do too. And matter of fact, if you drive around Phoenix and you go to some of the suburbs around Phoenix, you'll see new homes, but they're not selling them. They're renting them, new homes for lease. BlackRock and others like them are the groups behind that. Vanguard also owns 2 million shares, 7.39% of total shares. So between BlackRock and Vanguard, it's a AQST, and then Federated Hermes and Geode Capital, State Street, and then BlackRock increased its position by 200,000 shares in this last quarter. So again, it's July of 2024 for those of you wondering. ChatGPT says the overall sentiment from institutional investors towards AQST seems optimistic. Major institutions have increased their positions, suggesting confidence in the company's future prospects despite its current financial challenges. Vanguard Group's steady holdings reinforce this sentiment. Now, I asked it a question, why would they be hiring for this job summary, which was a packaging business development manager? I thought it might have given me some hints or clues as to the film technology. It actually doesn't. It talks about their packaging business. For those that don't know, they are able to white label their film technology for a lot of other companies, and that's been growing too. So they're actually, I put the job opening here, and then the analysis is they're diversifying their revenue stream. So current financial position, it's shown to need a need to enhance its revenue streams by expanding into contract packaging business. So there's a lot of other pharma companies, biotechs looking into similar of this proprietary film technology. So they're able to leverage the farm film technology as a technology for other companies to use. And they could use their existing infrastructure for contract packaging for other things, for other drug companies. So no one's investing in this thing because of that. But there is a value of that business too. And that value is, I think, something that people don't talk about when they analyze the stock. They just talk about Libervant, which has already been approved for epilepsy for children, and then the Anafilm, which is the epinephrine, oral epinephrine, which everyone believes that is the potential blockbuster, and that's what makes this stock so compelling. And the results showed that very similar results to epinephrine. And we're going to get into some of its competitors here as well, although I don't think they're competitors. Overview of the packaging business. It's an extension of its core pharmaceutical operations. It focuses on providing contract packaging services to other companies, potentially including those developing similar film-based drug delivery systems. So people don't talk about this. When you're this obsessed with a company, you look for every opportunity, every hint. Biotech Scanner does this really well. I'm trying to just be a little bit more like him. I mean, he's on it when it comes to any news on this company. Okay, so enough with that. Now, we need to get into this is where it got interesting. I asked ChatGPT, what is the packaging business of AQST worth? And it did a couple of things. It estimated revenue, profit margin, market potential, and it gave me 20 million valuation just for the packaging business alone. Now, obviously, the market cap for this thing is like 240 something million. So, this is what, 10% of that, maybe. Under the hypothetical scenario, AQST Therapeutics packaging business could be worth approximately 20 million. What revenues does AQST actually bring in, and from where? So now I'm starting to get into I've been reading Charlie Munger's book, Poor Charlie's Almanac, rest in peace, Charlie Munger. And I just wanted to run his mental models through this, and I'm going to get into some more stuff. I told you, if you wanted a deep dive, you're going to get a deep dive into this thing. If you don't like it, that's okay too. I suggest you do this for any company you're interested in investing in, by the way. You just need to know everything about it from different mental models as well, people that you admire or that people have done this kind of stuff in the past. So revenue breakdown for AQST, product sales, oral film products. AQST Therapeutics develops and markets proprietary oral film products. Recent product launches, which is Libervant, license and royalty revenue, contract manufacturing and packaging, which is what we got into. So here's the financial snapshot as of their latest quarterly earnings. 50 million revenue, 30 million in sales, 60% of total revenue is sales. Suboxone is the key product that's for opioid dependence. Remember, when you're investing in this company, this is not a first time, this is not their first rodeo. And we get into management later. License and royalty revenue is 15 million, so it's 30% of revenue. And then contract manufacturing and packaging is 5 million, although hypothetically, that could be a $20 million business based on ChatGPT's hypothesis. I'm not going to bore you with the math, but it did I love GPT-4o. Analysis. Okay, dependence on key products. Conclusion. AQST derives its revenue primarily from product sales, licensing and royalty agreements, and contract manufacturing and packaging. I asked it to analyze the recent reports. So on the recent reports, it basically did all of it for me, and it basically said 50 million, up from 45 million the previous year, 30 million in sales, 15 million in licensing, everything we just went through. Cost of goods sold, 20 million, research and development, 10 million. I actually don't know what SG&A is, 15 million, and then net loss of 5 million. I asked it to analyze AQST in comparison with, generally, I don't think it's a competitor because it's a different product, but let's face it, when you're going after the anaphylaxis market and the allergy market, everyone brings up ARS Pharmaceuticals, right? And they have Neffy, which is their product, which is an intranasal epinephrine spray. Unlike AQST, Neffy stock seems to be doing well. And so I just asked for a financial comparison and then an overall comparison. So again, AQST revenue in 2023, 50 million. Product sales 30. We went through all that. Not publicly available, their revenue from 2023. So their development stage company, likely minimal revenue. Their net income, not publicly available. Net assets, 70 million. Net liabilities, 30 million. So AQST, more assets, but more liabilities as well. ARS, net assets, 70 million. Liabilities, 30. R&D spending high. Business strategies, everybody knows. ARS going after Neffy. They even got a complete response letter from the FDA, so they got to do more studies. I think Neffy's going to get approved, and that'll boost both stocks up. Neffy's going to get approved first. They're on track to get approved first. And yeah, there's some overlap as far as like the market base, and ultimately prescribers are going to have to choose which product's better. Here's ChatGPT's conclusion. AQST and ARS both have unique strengths and challenges. AQST offers a more diversified approach with multiple revenue streams and products in the market, but faces financial stability challenges. ARS is a high risk, high reward scenario, with its success heavily dependent on the approval and commercialization of Neffy. Investors should consider their risk tolerance and investment horizon when deciding between these two companies. AQST may offer more stable but slower growth potential, while ARS presents a speculative opportunity with potentially significant reward if its product succeeds. I agree. And AQST, also remember, it's the platform. So AQST, what we're not talking about so far on this video, is the atopic dermatitis product that they kind of silently launched. That's a huge market need. That's a huge total addressable market. Neffy, ARS doesn't have anything like that. AQST, my floor with AQST is higher than a floor with ARS, in my opinion. And by floor, I mean the bottom, like how far the stock could drop. Worst case scenario, there's still, like, you're holding a bag, but you still have potential, right? Now, they would probably have to dilute more shares again and all that stuff. Nobody wants to see that. But, I mean, they have more debt as well. ARS management team, I asked it to analyze their management team and their board. The management at ARS consists of seasoned professionals with deep expertise. Then I asked it to do the same thing with AQST. And then I said, compare them to other biotech boards and how do they rank, above average or below? Comparing the board of AQST to those of other biotech companies, here's a comparative analysis. For industry expertise, if you compare it to other biotech boards, Gilead, industry expertise is strong. Amgen, it did all these, and then it picked 3 other biotech boards, Gilead, Amgen, and Regeneron. And then it analyzed AQST's board and ranked it to them. Those are high standards, by the way. Compared to top tier biotech boards, AQST is above average in financial and operational expertise, but slightly below average in scientific knowledge and diversity. Compared to average biotech companies, AQST's board is above average overall. The mix of leadership, financial acumen, and legal expertise positions it well above many smaller, less established biotech companies. Okay, so AQST board ranks above average compared to typical biotech companies. Then I asked it, give me a 10-year realistic outlook of likely probability of outcomes for AQST. Keep in mind opportunity and scale and historical precedents of similar companies at this stage. So here's a 10-year outlook for Aquestive. Again, ChatGPT, short-term, continued product development and approval. AQST will likely focus on advancing its existing product pipeline through clinical trials and regulatory approvals. Market expansion, AQST may seek to expand its market presence by targeting additional indications, which is the derm indication. Revenue growth could be increased sales and increased contract packaging business. Financial stability, AQST may continue to face challenges in achieving profitability due to high R&D expenses and operational costs. However, strategic management and revenue growth could gradually improve financial stability. Medium term, 4 to 6 years. Partnerships. So forming strategic partnerships with larger pharmaceutical companies can provide additional resources, and mergers and acquisitions. And honestly, when I said my time horizon is 2 to 3 years, I really want to get past this short term, and then I will reap the rewards of this medium term. I'm looking for a buyout or a partnership. And long term, I don't think I'll hold it that long just because it's less exciting at that point. But It could become next Gilead. It could become. I like finding these companies when they're at this stage, and then cashing out, and then getting back in. But Charlie Munger would say, just hold it forever. I get into something interesting here. Pretend like you are Charlie Munger and run an analysis of this stock through his mental models. So he literally takes me through like 7 of his mental models. Charlie Munger has like 100, so thank God it didn't do all 100, but it picked these ones. Understand the business. That's the mental model. AQST Therapeutics specialty pharmaceutical company that develops and commercializes drugs using its proprietary farm film technology. Revenue streams: the company generates revenue from product sales, licensing agreements, royalties, and contract manufacturing and packaging. Competitive advantage: moat. The proprietary technology is the farm film technology, provides a competitive edge in the drug delivery market, offers unique advantages such as ease of use, improved patient compliance, and potential better efficacy. Patents and IP: strong intellectual property around its technology and products, and successful navigation of regulatory process for its products can create barriers to entry for competitors. Management quality: the leadership team led by Keith is not the CEO anymore, I believe, and I think I corrected it here. The current CEO is Daniel Barber. It corrected it itself. And a track record, past successes. So this is not its first rodeo. I think that's not appreciated enough by the investment community. Financial health and stability is probably its weakness. The balance sheet shows significant liabilities. Positive cash flow from operations is a good sign, but sustained profitability will be critical for long-term success. So they are positive cash flow on the actual like business side of like cost of goods sold and things like that for the packaging and the royalty and the sales. But on their R&D, that's where all the costs are at. But I think it's well worth it. It's a worthwhile investment. Determine if the stock is undervalued or overvalued based on intrinsic value. So we all know the answer to this. Ensure there is enough significant margin of safety. And then long-term prospects: assess the long-term potential. I think that's why we're all here. We believe in the long-term potential, or maybe you're a hater and you don't. A robust pipeline with potential new product launches can drive future growth. The success of clinical trials and regulatory approvals will be critical. Market expansion: opportunities for international expansion in new therapeutic areas and innovation. Continued investment in R&D. Risk assessment: identify and evaluate potential risk, regulatory risks, so delays in studies, financial risk, market risk. I asked it then to give me a valuation. What would be a favorable valuation? And it went through revenue projections, profitability, discount rate, terminal value, intrinsic value. It does all this stuff. You guys can all do it. And it comes up with an intrinsic value of $2.96. So this is currently trading below what it is, or this is more than what it's trading for today, July 12th, 2024, or what it closed at today. Run a hypothetical on how Anafilm would react in a PK/PD study, so pharmacokinetic, pharmacodynamic study, in the mouth under the maximum amount of oral allergen. Why? Not for fun, but because this is actually what they have to prove. One of the studies that they have good results for right now is the oral temperature one. Now we're getting into the oral allergens one, which is the one that I was, and I think most people might be worried about. Hypothetical scenario: interaction of common oral allergens with sublingual Anafilm in a PK/PD study. In a hypothetical PK/PD study investigating the interaction of common oral allergens with sublingual epinephrine, several key aspects would be considered. Based on insights from the study, pharmacokinetic study of epinephrine sublingual film, results from the formulation and dosage selection, it is known that sublingual epinephrine formulations can achieve rapid and clinical significant blood concentration of epinephrine. So there was actually a real study. The study would adopt a randomized open-label adaptive design similar to the EPIPHAST study, where healthy adult subjects would be recruited and exposed to a controlled amount of common oral allergens to simulate an allergic reaction. Formulation and dosage. The sublingual epinephrine formulation used would be based on the best performing configurations from previous studies, such as formulation 5 at 12 milligrams, which showed rapid Tmax and high Cmax values compared to intramuscular epinephrine. Blood samples would be collected at regular intervals. Allergen interaction, the primary focus would be to observe if the presence of oral allergens affects the absorption and efficacy of sublingual epinephrine. Key metrics would include changes in Tmax, Cmax, and overall bioavailability. So here are the study results would provide valuable insight. And here's the actual study. This study, and it's a link to it, I'm going to show you right now, demonstrated that sublingual epinephrine formulations could achieve rapid and clinically significant blood concentration, with formulation 5, 12 milligrams, showing Tmax at 22.5 minutes and Cmax compared to IM injection. This indicates potential for effective use in acute allergic reaction. Here's the actual study and PK study of epinephrine sublingual film. I will have this link underneath the video, but basically I asked ChatGPT again after doing this hypothetical on a real EpiFast study what the results are likely to be, and it changed it to 60%. 60 to, I think it was 60 to 70, so let's call it 65% likely approval of the oral allergen study. It's starting to rain. Hopefully it's a sign of good luck, Guru Nation, out here in the undisclosed location in Sedona, Arizona. Let's just end it with that positive note. Let me know what you think about my use of ChatGPT. I especially like my last part about using a real study, the EpiFast study, to make a simulation for the results for this study that they're actually doing, and 65% likelihood based on ChatGPT. Again, not financial advice. Hopefully the rain is a sign of good luck. Let's rain down some profits. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye-bye.